There's a quiet question many kind-hearted people hold inside. A question they rarely say out loud, but it lives beneath their sadness and disappointment. If I am a good person, if I try my best to be honest, loving, and compassionate, why do I still suffer? Why do unfair things keep happening to me? It's a painful question, but it's also a doorway into one of the most profound teachings in Buddhism. In Buddhist wisdom, suffering is not a sign of weakness, nor a punishment, nor something you deserve. Suffering is part of the human journey, an invitation to understand life more deeply. The Buddha taught that the experience of pain comes from three roots: attachment, craving, and ignorance of how life truly works. But these words, spoken more than 2,500 years ago, still apply to the struggles people face today. Good people often suffer more deeply for a simple reason. Their hearts are open. When your heart is open, you feel the world more intensely. You notice the pain of others. You care about justice. You try to live with kindness. And because you live with compassion, life touches you more directly. It is not weakness. It is sensitivity. And sensitivity is the seed of wisdom. Sometimes good people suffer because they hold on too tightly to relationships, expectations, beliefs, or versions of themselves that are no longer true. Attachment in Buddhism does not mean love. It means clinging. It means gripping something so tightly that when life tries to move you forward, your own hands keep holding you back. You may suffer because you had a vision of how life should be and reality didn't match that vision. You may suffer because you believed someone would stay and they didn't. You may suffer because you gave your heart openly and it was not received with the same tenderness. The Buddha explained that much of suffering comes from resisting what is happening. The more we fight against reality, the more we hurt. But there is another, deeper layer. Good people often carry old karmic patterns, unfinished emotional stories from the past. These patterns repeat not to punish you but to help you break the cycle. Think of karma as momentum, not destiny. It continues until awareness interrupts it. Sometimes a painful experience is the final release of old karma that has followed you for years. It is like a storm breaking so the sky can finally clear. You may ask, but why does it have to be so hard? Because transformation rarely happens in comfort. The lotus only grows in mud. Gold is refined through fire. And the heart becomes wiser through the pain it learns to understand. Some of the kindest souls have walked through the darkest nights, not because they deserve the darkness, but because they have the strength to transform it into light. If you look closely, you'll see that suffering shapes you in ways comfort never could. It teaches you patience. It teaches you compassion. It teaches you boundaries. It teaches you courage. It teaches you how to love without losing yourself. There is a subtle truth in Buddhist practice. You can't fully awaken until your heart breaks at least once. Because only then do you understand the depth of human pain and the depth of human resilience. The Buddha once said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." At first, this seems confusing. How can suffering be optional? Pain happens. People leave. Life changes. Loss is real. Disappointment is real. But suffering is the story you tell yourself afterward. Suffering is how long you choose to hold the wound. Suffering is the resistance to what already happened. When you shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" the entire meaning of your experience changes. You begin to understand that suffering is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter. Good people suffer because their hearts are meant to grow. Because life is shaping them into someone who can see with clarity and act with wisdom. Suffering wakes you up to the truth that nothing in life is truly permanent. That holding on brings pain, but letting go brings peace. That kindness is not about avoiding hurt. It's about transforming hurt into understanding. And here is the most important part. Your suffering is not a sign that you are weak or unlucky. It is a sign that you are alive, aware, capable of deep feeling, and capable of deep transformation. If you are going through pain right now, take a slow breath. You are not being punished. You are being guided. Life is redirecting you even if you can't see where it leads yet. One day you will look back and understand why this chapter mattered. One day the confusion will make sense. One day the heaviness in your heart will turn into wisdom. Good people suffer, not because life is cruel, but because their path is calling them to a higher level of awareness. Your suffering has purpose. Your compassion has value. And your journey is far from over. Be patient with your heart. It is learning to become something extraordinary.